My wife insisted she was just catching up with friends. A text from her friend revealed she had been out with someone else. When I confronted her, she said, "You're making something out of nothing." Months later, she was the one left with nothing. I'm a 48-year-old man from Boise, Idaho. I've been married to my wife, Sarah, for 20 years. We have 2 kids and have built a life together. Recently, things have taken a turn I never expected. A few months ago, Sarah started going out more often, saying she was catching up with friends. At first, I didn't think much of it. We all need our social circles, right? But then it became a weekly thing, and she was always vague about who she was meeting. One evening, while Sarah was out, I received a text from her friend, Lisa. It was meant for someone else, but came to me by mistake. It read, "Sarah looked amazing tonight. Hope she has fun with Mark." Mark? I didn't know any Mark. My heart sank. I replied, asking Lisa who Mark was, but she didn't respond. I waited for Sarah to come home, trying to keep my emotions in check. When Sarah walked through the door, I asked her directly, "Who's Mark?" She looked startled, but quickly composed herself. "You're making something out of nothing," she said. I showed her the text, and she brushed it off, claiming it was a misunderstanding. I wanted to believe her, but the seed of doubt had been planted. I started paying closer attention, noticing how she guarded her phone and how distant she'd become. Over the next few months, the distance between us grew. I tried to initiate conversations, suggest counseling, anything to bridge the gap. But Sarah remained aloof, insisting everything was fine. Then, one day, I found a receipt for a hotel stay in her purse. The date matched one of her catching up with friends nights. I confronted her again, and this time, she couldn't deny it. She admitted to having an affair with Mark, someone she met at a work conference. I was devastated. 20 years of marriage, trust, and shared experiences shattered. Sarah moved out, and we began the divorce process. Our children were heartbroken, struggling to understand why their family was falling apart. Sarah's affair didn't last. Mark wasn't interested in a long-term relationship. She tried to come back, to apologize and make amends, but the damage was done. I couldn't go back to a relationship built on lies. It's been a challenging journey, but I'm focusing on rebuilding my life. I'm spending more time with my kids, reconnecting with old friends, and even exploring new hobbies. The pain is still there, but each day gets a little easier. Once Sarah admitted to the affair, she packed some of her things and left the house that same night. She said she needed space to figure things out. Honestly, I didn't even fight it. I just nodded. What was I supposed to say? The kids were staying with me. She didn't even ask. Maybe she felt guilty. Maybe she thought it was easier for them to stay in the house they grew up in. 2 weeks after she left, I got served. Divorce papers. No warning. No call. Just a guy at my door with an envelope. I opened it up and felt my stomach twist. She was asking for full custody. Full. And child support. She wanted to keep the kids and make me pay for it. This was the same woman who left them with me without a word. I was livid. I called her. I didn't yell. I just asked, "What is this?" She said, "My lawyer said this is just a first draft. Don't take it personal." Personal? My whole life was being ripped in two, and I'm not supposed to take it personal? A few days later, I had lunch with Lisa. Yes, that Lisa, the one who sent me the accidental text. Turns out, she felt terrible about what happened. And she told me something that made my jaw hit the table. Sarah and Mark had been seeing each other way before that night, she claimed. Months, maybe even a year. Lisa said she tried to warn Sarah to stop, that it was getting too messy. Sarah didn't care. But that wasn't all. Mark was married. And not just married. His wife found out. She sent Sarah a letter. I never saw it. Sarah must have hidden it. According to Lisa, Mark's wife threatened to contact me if Sarah didn't back off. So not only was my wife cheating, she was a homewrecker in someone else's marriage too. I was so angry I could hardly think. I didn't know what to do, so I did something I'm still not sure was smart. I looked up Mark's wife. Took a bit of digging. I found her Facebook. Sent her a message. She responded. We met up for coffee. She was calm, kind. Too kind for everything she'd been through. She said Sarah had called her crazy. Told Mark she was obsessed and making things up. Mark believed Sarah. Then he left her. His wife. They had 2 kids too. Now she was a single mom, trying to pick up the pieces just like me. Meanwhile, Sarah was still playing games. She texted our daughter, asking if I had met someone new. She told our son she was working on things and might be back soon. I told her to stop confusing the kids. She called me controlling. One night, she showed up at the house unannounced, drunk, crying on the porch, asking if we could talk. The kids were asleep. I stepped outside. She told me Mark had ghosted her. He blocked her number. Didn't even say goodbye. Just vanished. Now she was alone and scared. She said, I made a mistake. I don't know who I am anymore. Can you just help me find my way again? I said, you burned the map. And I walked back inside. So, yeah. I thought we hit rock bottom after that night on the porch. But no, that wasn't even the halfway point. After she showed up drunk and I turned her away, I figured that was it. She was embarrassed, hurting, maybe starting to face what she'd done. 2 weeks later, I got another visit from my lawyer. Turns out Sarah wasn't just going after custody now. She was trying to get alimony. Said I emotionally abandoned her years ago, and that's why she cheated. Her lawyer even had the nerve to suggest I created a hostile home environment, that I was cold and detached. You know how hard it is hearing someone twist your normal, boring, everyday behavior into something cruel? It made my skin crawl. Luckily, I had texts, emails, even messages from the kids backing me up. My lawyer was solid, but that didn't stop her from trying. Then came the real blow. Her parents, who had always been like second parents to me, sided with her. I didn't see it coming. They stopped calling, unfriended me on social media. When I ran into her mom at the grocery store, she just looked through me. Guess what Sarah told them? That I had an affair first, that I had been abusive, that she finally found the strength to leave me. It was pure lies. I never laid a hand on her, never cheated. Hell, I barely even looked at another woman during our whole marriage. But they believed her. Or maybe they just wanted to. She got fired. Here's where it gets messy again. Lisa called me out of the blue. Apparently Sarah's workplace found out about the affair. Turns out Mark was a client. She tried to keep it quiet, but office gossip spreads fast. Once the company's HR team got wind of it, they looked into the timeline. Sarah had used company time and even a company card for some of the hotel bookings. She got fired. No severance. No recommendations. She tried to act like she quit to start something new. But word got around Boise fast. She couldn't find anything that paid even half of what she made before. And that's when the begging started. She texted me again, this time sounding like a completely different person. Can we talk? I've been humbled. I ignored it. Then came the emails. I missed the life we had. I know I can't undo it, but can we just sit down one last time? For the kids, maybe. I didn't respond. She sent a long letter. Handwritten. 10 pages. She said Mark wasn't the first, that there had been others. Short flings. Emotional affairs. She said it started years ago, around our 15th anniversary. She felt empty, she said. She didn't know why. I tried to fill the hole with other people. My hands were shaking reading it. She said she regretted it all, that every smile on her face those years was fake. But now she realizes what she had with me was real love, that she ruined it trying to chase something that didn't exist. I threw the letter in the drawer and haven't touched it since. She went to our daughter's school, without telling me. Just showed up, pulled her out of class to get ice cream. I got a call from the principal. When I asked Sarah why she did that, she said, I just needed to talk to her without your influence. That's when I lost it. I filed for full custody the next day. No more shared weekends. No more co-parenting talks. No more random visits. She violated the custody agreement. She scared our kid. That was the final straw for me. And yet, there's still more. A week ago, my son, 16 years old, came to me and said, Dad, Mom told me you're going to move away and leave us. Is that true? I was stunned. Of course not. Why would she say that? She said you hate us now because we remind you of her. I didn't even have words. I sat both kids down, explained everything I could age appropriate, and told them the truth. I love them more than anything. I'm not going anywhere. They cried. I cried. We all cried. And now, here I am. Halfway through this storm, maybe. Or maybe near the end. Who knows? But if you're still following this story, there's one more part one haven't shared yet. Something that changed everything again. And no, it's not a happy ending. Not yet, anyway. But nothing. Prepared me for what happened at our son's high school fundraiser. Our son plays varsity baseball. I've always been involved, driving him to practice, volunteering at games, buying hot dogs at the concession stand while freezing in the bleachers. There was a school fundraiser one Friday night. A community dinner, auction, speeches from the coaches. My ex was on the approved guest list. I didn't want her there, but I couldn't stop it. It was for the kids. That's what I kept telling myself. I showed up early with my son to help set up. Sarah arrived an hour later with a fresh haircut and clothes that screamed, "Look at me." She made the rounds, smiling at teachers, waving at old family friends like nothing had happened. She was laughing like she owned the place. I stayed on the other side of the gym. But that peace didn't last. During the silent auction, I saw her talking to Coach Miller. He's the kind of guy everyone in town respects. Retired military, teaches history, strict but fair. My son loves him. I walked over to bid on a barbecue grill. I wasn't trying to eavesdrop, but I caught part of the conversation. She was telling him I was the reason our son had been acting distant, that I was mentally unstable since the divorce, that I was turning the kids against her. Coach Miller didn't see me behind her. His eyes shifted to mine, and he gave me that tight, awkward smile people wear when they realize they're standing in a fire. I said, loud enough for everyone nearby to hear, "That's not what our son said last night when he cried himself to sleep because of you." She spun around. "What the hell are you doing? You want to lie to teachers now? Coaches? You want to spin more stories in front of people who actually know us?" The room got quiet. People were watching. The kind of silence you feel in your throat. "You embarrassed yourself enough," I said. "Don't drag our kid into this again." She snapped. "You ruined everything. You turned them against me, you cold, heartless bastard. I should have left you 10 years ago." There it was. The tear. The raw rip in the mask she wore. And then something happened I didn't expect. The tearful confession Coach Miller, of all people, stepped in. "Ma'am, I don't know your full story, but your son is a good kid. And he told me on his own that he doesn't trust you anymore. He's scared you'll disappear again." That hit her hard. She froze. And right there, in front of 2 teachers, for parents, and a coach holding a clipboard, Sarah started crying. Not just quiet tears, ugly sobbing. She sat down on a bench against the wall, head in her hands, mascara running. "I messed up," she said. "I don't know how to fix it." Someone handed her tissues. I didn't gloat. I didn't yell. I just stood there and watched the woman I once loved completely fall apart. She left early. Didn't say another word. I stayed until the end, packed up tables, drove my son home. He didn't say much until we were in the driveway. "Was that Mom crying?" "Yeah," I said. "She was." He looked down. "Good." That one word, simple, flat, cold, hit me harder than anything else that night. The final conversation a week later, she asked to meet. Just us. No lawyers, no kids. We met at a small diner downtown. Neutral ground. She looked worn out. Thinner. Like someone who hadn't slept in days. "I'm not going to fight for custody anymore," she said. "You're a better parent." I can't even look them in the eyes without feeling like garbage. I didn't say anything. "I'm going to therapy," she added. "It's not for you. Or the kids. It's for me. I need to figure out why I threw away my whole life." I nodded. "I don't expect forgiveness. I just wanted you to know I'm trying." We never yelled again after that. Never argued. She sees the kids on scheduled weekends. No overnight stays. She's working at a smaller job now, still rebuilding. The kids still ask questions. Sometimes I don't have the answers. Some days I'm angry. Some days I feel free. Some nights I lay awake wondering if I missed the signs. If I let us rot by staying quiet for too long. But I've learned this. Love isn't enough if only one person is fighting for it. I still believe in honesty. I still believe in showing up every day for your family. And if I ever love again, it'll be with someone who speaks the truth, even when it's hard. So what's next for me? I don't know. But I'm no longer waiting for someone to tell me what's real. I'll decide that for myself.